For grip here, we're going to take the left hand, and you don't want to, a lot of people will want to grip it like a baseball bat. It's actually more of a golf grip here too, where you're light as you can. You see how that length is, if I'm gripping here, it shortens, lengthening right there. So I've just added another inch, or the famous thing with Highland Games or any throwing, an inch of length and radius can be feet out in the field if you apply that properly too. So light grip, thumb in and over. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? A lot of people didn't realize that that's,
yep.
It kind of feels weird at first.
I was baseball grip for 5 years.
Yeah, open that up. That should be your grip position, and it's going to just help you lengthen, be more passive with your hammer. You're not going to want to wind with the wrists. You see that a lot. People will start to wind the wrists, and that's just going to take away from the throw. It's going to take away from the timing, positions, all that good stuff for sure along the way. So for grip enhancement, we have your tacky. This is some old Brock's tacky with a little chalk on it too. Don't need, I wouldn't recommend chalk, especially with different people. It's kind of just a bonehead thing to do with Highland Games. If other people are using tacky and you're using chalk, that kind of thing, it's just taken away from the grip, and then adding to it just confuses. The hammer gets confused, doesn't know what's going on. So tacky is more of a last line games kind of thing, and that's what everybody else is probably going to most likely be using. So if you can stick with tacky, a lot of time at the games, you won't need to add much, especially as you go up in classes, or actually some of the B guys probably they're just slathering it on or something, or maybe some of the A guys even too. It makes a big difference. In different weather conditions, all different forms of tacky that you can buy. The strongman tacky works well too in really warm conditions. Even taping your fingers, things like that. This can add feet and a great deal of consistency, lower risk of injury, of losing the hammer, that kind of thing. It can make a big deal. It's worth working on. But just taping, like as you get towards the base, towards the knuckles of your fingers, I can show people want to see that later on. Do that. And a lot of time I'll tape the gloves on here too, just for, you can lose the glove. I've never lost one on the hammer, but lost a fair share on the weight for distance, or tore them off because of not taping them down. Just kind of get a few laughs from the crowd, and that the glove stays with the weight, still sails in the wind that way. So this is kind of a medium tacky. I like to just take tacky and put it, this won't even set up right now, so I won't bother to try to show you that way. Just taking it down at least one side of the handle, or both sides. That's all you really need usually, especially starting out. Less is more for sure. If you're just not comfortable, or honestly, if you're just not throwing the hammer that far, you don't need a lot of tacky, but down the line, it can really make a huge difference. So getting that hammer, the right amount of tacky, put it on the handle, especially when it's just you practicing. That's all you need. You put it on your gloves, maybe at the games, or even put a little bit on the back of the glove if you're careful and don't get in your face or your hair or something too. It's really an art. And welcome, Mark. This next up is just this can be used even to hold stuff in place, like your knee wraps and straps and that kind of stuff too. This is a little more expensive, just like a stickum, and that holds. It's just a quick fix. This is the first bottle of this 3M stuff too. This is kind of a little bit more mild adhesive, and this stuff lasts a long time. It's a little harder to set up. This stuff's really safe to start. You can't go wrong spraying that just a little bit, especially in the winter time, to get something on there. I still kind of struggle to get a little bit of tacky on that too, so it makes a big difference, and something you do have to just kind of play around with. Nobody can really tell you exactly what that is, but there's some guys who like to basically almost be able to pick up the hammer with enough tacky on there and not have to hardly even hold on to it, just be able to grab it and have it just come up. That's a little tricky to get the right release on it though too. You need to keep that in stride too. You don't want to have it not release on you too at the right time, especially more on the weights I think than hammers. I haven't seen too many people say, oh, it's too much tacky and not able to get that timing and that. A lot of it's your own timing too. If you're gripping down too hard on it, it's just your timing of your release partly usually too. I think you can slather that on there and it's still gonna give and not take away from your throw as far as putting a fair amount on there and that kind of thing. Any questions with that?
I got one question. How far down the handle are you grabbing on your first with the left hand. Are
That's a
you
good question.
actually halfway through your palm or all the way back?
I've tried that to do like two. Some guys will have as little as 2 fingers on the end of that. You know, again, technically, if we get a lot of tacky on there, we're lengthening out. I do maybe a little bit of the pinky off there, if anything, just a light grip. I haven't been able to do that where it feels right to me. Something happens with my timing, positions, or more likely to hit the ground. In theory, you should be able to counter that, get it on the proper orbit. Even, I've seen people as short as 5'2" be able to, have that radius, have the positions down on the hammer, still be able to get good lift on it. So I don't believe the length of the hammer or being short. It's a deterrent in some sense, but it also, there's some really good hammer throwers that are not that tall at all, especially